How often are you gonna need to
Hello, welcome. What was that? Hey, everybody, welcome to Common Censored Live. Thanks for joining us. Please take a second to share this. Let everyone know. We got some great stories for you. We're going to go through. Last we checked, the world has not been fixed. We're sorry to report that. So we do have a lot of awesome stories for you. Some of them hilarious. But yeah, take a second to share this. Do you want to tell them about where the donations go?
Sure. Hey, go live on Rockfin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so all the donations go to you guys. And so folks who are in need of a little bit of support, email commoncensored@protonmail.com. And all of the donations that are given to us through this live stream, either here or via Venmo at Lee Camp, are what we pull from in order to support the folks who reach out to us and need a little help. So please donate, because your funds are going back to the community that you're hanging out with right now.
Yes, and we missed you last week. I know you were worried that we didn't miss you. We did.
We did.
We missed you last week. Thank you guys for being here. Hello, Nick. Hello, Huzzah. Hello, DSL Coda. Let's see who will be the first to donate. Who knows? Who knows who it could be? But yeah, thank you guys so much. We're going to talk about Eleanor's brand new album that's here, her new EP. So that's exciting, although she's a little humble about it. But very exciting. I like the hair thing. I need to get one of those.
Thank you. It's called the My Hair Looks Like There's Shit Living in It. And so what you do is you strap a scarf around it. And then it's not as noticeable until someone points it out, like you, and then I have to explain it, and then it ruins it.
You didn't have to explain it. I thought you look, I thought you look great. It's excellent. So the new album is called hello, Miriam. It's called No Solo, and we talked about it on the podcast, Common Censored. So I'm not going to get into the same details. I'm going to get into different aspects of the new EP. This is Eleanor's first solo EP. Eleanor, for those of you who don't know, was in a band called Rooftop Revolutionaries, and that's the excellent song you hear at the beginning of Common Censored is a Rooftop Revolutionaries song, but now a little different feel this album, and I love it. I think it's fucking awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a different feel because I am not a band. In and of myself. Now, there are people that are like one-person bands, but that is not me. I can play like 6 chords. Holy shit, G. Birch and Volante.
Wow, thanks, guys.
Yes, let's prime the pump.
Who was first, though? They came in simultaneously, G. Birch and Volante.
Well played.
I'm gonna give them. They're gonna share the gold medal for first donation. They're gonna share it.
It's communal. It's so communal that no one is first. No one's the top. I like it. So it's basically because I can't play guitar that well, and I'm not I don't orchestrate. I'm not a music director in the sense that I can orchestrate entire bands very well.
But you
I also just hold on.
It's an excellent.
I didn't want to orchestrate a full band. I wanted to step away from the band space, just basically to see how it felt, and that's what this album is about. And so it's 3 original songs. It's 2 spoken word pieces with sound design, and and I feel good about it. I birthed it. I've named it. And it's out there, and I feel pretty good about it. And I hope other people do. So far, I've been getting good reviews. Maybe it's just because the people who hate it haven't been telling me. I don't know. But
that must be it. No, I'm gonna put the it's at artkillingapathy.com, and I'm just gonna put that. But you just click on No Solo when you get there. So
yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see like the featured art projects, and No Solo's there. So
I'm just going to ask you about one of the songs. I think my favorite is Pyre. What inspired and kind of the chorus is I'm going to stand where it burns. What inspired that song? Because I actually don't think I know.
I don't know that I know either. It's one of those things, like, do you ever have a moment where, like, a joke just falls out of you and you're not really sure where the fuck it came from, and all of a sudden it's there and you're like, wow, that's good, but I don't really know what. That's kind of what happened with Pyre. Like, I was just sitting there and I started strumming and out it came. So yeah, that's I know that's not a very inspiring story, but it's kind of like when somebody asked me at a I think it was like a Zeitgeist Media Fest. Somebody asked me what my like creative workflow was, and I was like, I don't know. I just like inopportune moments when I'm showering or taking a shit or on a bus, like I get a good idea and then I'm like, oh, I need to write this down, or I need to hum this loudly and obnoxiously into my phone on the middle of a bus in front of a bunch of fucking people. So but yeah, I don't really know what my creative workflow is.
But so while it may not have been one moment that inspired it, I take it to mean like I'm gonna be in the middle of the fight. Like shit may be fucked up.
Oh yeah.
But I'm gonna be in the middle of this.
No. Well, I can tell you what it's about. I just can't tell you like where it came from. I mean, I'm assuming it just came from, the work that we do and the lives that we lead. And I said lives, but whatever.
Ratty, if Eleanor did a duet with Lee, it would be the most horrific thing you'd ever seen, because Lee would drag her down to the depths of awfulness that you can't imagine.
You really don't want to hear Lee sing. It's every time Lee sings, a fairy dies, actually. I don't know if you knew that.
Well, it's also because I'm stomping on fairies as I do it. So there's that.
Sorry, where was I?
Pyre.
Right. No, it's basically about the fact that yes, the world is on fire, literally and figuratively, and instead of cocooning ourselves from the realities of the situation, we have to stand in that fire because we built this funeral pyre for ourselves, and so we have to deconstruct it. We have to rush into the flames, like literally and figuratively, to save what we can and to mitigate the spread of this fire. And that fire could mean anything from a literal fire to the spread of disease or the spread of US hegemony. Pick your poison. But it's really about it's a call to action, and also a sort of a message to those folks on the front lines that look, you're not alone, and we are the fight continues, and the work that you're doing on the front lines is what's going to change things.
Tony has a question, which I think is common whenever anyone puts something out. It's when's the next thing coming out? Like I put out my comedy special, and people said, when's the next comedy special? And I was like, I just did it. So Tony wants to know any chance of an album.
Yeah. So real quick, for folks who don't know, EP, which ironically stands for extended play, is a shorter version of an album. So it's usually like, 4 to 6 tracks or so, whereas an album is like 12 songs or something. At the moment, I just don't have enough to do a musical album like that. I could do like a spoken word album, but I kind of like the idea of putting spoken word and music together. And I also like an EP because I'm not asking that much of people. I personally love sitting and listening to entire albums, but I realize that not everyone has that time or patience. So I wanted to give them this EP is literally like 17 minutes long. So I don't even know how long is that,
How long is 17 minutes?
As long as it takes you to walk to the fucking Starbucks or to take a shower
gotcha.
Or
Gotcha.
Whatever. It's far less than your wait at the DMV. It's just
it's the amount of time it takes to have sex 4 times, because I'm a player. Just kidding.
That's not true. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. Yeah. So to answer your question, as of right now, no.
It's an EP. I didn't mention that it's a recommended $6 donation, and you pay what you want at artkillingapathy.com. So very affordable for those of you who want to grab it. I also noticed that Dennis Trainer is here. Hey, Dennis.
Dennis, hi.
Where was Dennis's comment? There we go. Nice to see you, Dennis. Thanks for being here. Dennis.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Dennis is a man who does many things. Great documentarian. Made an excellent Occupy documentary that everyone should check out. But anyway.
Nick wants you to know that means that you last 4 minutes each with 15-second breaks.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. I only take the red pill, Tony.
Wait, which one's which?
The red pill means you see the reality in the Matrix.
Okay.
But you can't say take the red pill anymore because fucking idiot QAnon doofuses have really they own that now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't saying it a lot.
Not
Fully.
They don't fully own it, but if you run around talking about the red pill, you're normally like a fucking QAnon tool. So anyway, let's get to some news stories, and we'll mention the album some more later.
Also, folks, I'm sorry, just real quick, I saw that somebody asked if they could listen to some songs ahead of time before they purchase it. The album is available to listen to on Spotify and iTunes. I just ask that folks not like purchase it on iTunes or just listen to it on Spotify because I don't get paid for that. iTunes gives you a shit cut, and Spotify gives you like less of a fraction of a shit cut.
Oh my god, the best was Mariah Carey had the most plays of any song ever with one of her Christmas songs before Christmas. It was played billions of times, and she got like $70,000. And it was the most ever played song. Billions of times. Like, for an average musician, that means Spotify's paying them nothing. She gets a fraction of a cent per play.
I remember hearing years ago that like Lady Gaga got like $64 from Spotify one year. And it was like not long after her album had come out, and I was like, wow, $64. That's amazing. So for the average person who's not Lady Gaga, you can imagine how much we're getting. So anyway, you can check it out. It's under my name, Eleanor Goldfield, at both of those places. But please, if you preview it and you're like, hey, I dig this, please go to my site, artkillingapathy.com, and purchase it there, because then I actually get a return on the investment. So thank you. Zavi, oh, thank you. That was Rooftop Revolutionaries. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so all the donations, for those of you donating, all the donations go to people in need, people who are struggling. I'm going to read some of the thank yous from people who have gotten some of the funds that you guys have so graciously donated. So please take a minute, throw in a couple of dollars. I mean, honestly, like $1, $2. Obviously not. If you're desperate, don't do that. But in order to do that, you can push the $sign at youtube.com/momentofclarity, or you can donate on Rockfin. /Lee Camp, or you can donate on Venmo at Lee Camp. Those are the places to do it. All those donations go to people who are struggling right now.
I agree, Ratty. And Brian, that sounds like an absolutely fucking awesome project, and I will look that up.
Dennis Trainer says that the Occupy documentary I mentioned, American Autumn, after 10 years of being on iTunes, he just bought a Thai dinner with it. So meaning he got about $25.
Hey, I think you're
after 10 years.
I think you're $20 ahead of me.
So I wanted to bring an amazing story. So this shows what a garbage heap the mainstream media is. This is a longtime journalist for The Sun in Britain. Now, The Sun is a crap newspaper, but it's one of the biggest newspapers in Britain. So while you can laugh at it and say, "Oh, what a heap of garbage," it's influencing people. It matters. And they just did an obituary.
It's a Rupert Murdoch owned rag.
Right.
Literally rag.
So they just did an obituary for one of their longtime reporters named John Kay. And they did a 2,000-word obituary. Everything about his life, they got into this obituary. And here's something that Alan McLeod, thank you, Matthew. Here's something that Alan McLeod noticed they did not include in John Kay's obituary, longtime reporter for The Sun. And here's something about him that they did not include, despite having 2,000 words. Hold on, let me share it with you. This is from his Wikipedia. In 1977, Kay, who lacked confidence when going on the road to interview people, suffered a nervous breakdown and locked himself in his hotel room shortly before the 1977 TUC Congress in Blackpool. Returning home after the Congress, Kay felt unable to resign because it would harm his career, but knew he was not capable of functioning as an industrial editor either. So he announced to his wife that he was going to kill himself. He drowned his wife in the bath before unsuccessfully attempting to kill himself through methods including hanging, putting his head in the gas oven, jumping out a window only to have the fall broken by plastic trash cans, and finally driving his car head-on into a bridge. He was found by the police naked and covered in blood. Defended at trial, he pleaded guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. This was accepted by the court. After a spell of treatment at a psychiatric hospital, he was taken back by the Sun on the condition that he stay in the office. There you have it, folks. That's John Kay. 2,000-word obituary. They failed to mention he murdered his wife.
Murdered his wife.
And admitted that he had murdered his wife. He just felt that he wasn't responsible for it.
I don't even really have a... Yeah. But I can say that this is not, like, this really feels in line with the Sun, because a few years ago, yes, Dylan, absolutely, free Assange, jail the war criminals, as Lee's poster says. Yes. A few years ago when I was in Liverpool, Ratty, thank you.
Thank you, Ratty.
Woo!
For the next 10 minutes, you'll get your name chanted if you donate. Not in tune.
That's true. So a few years ago when I was in Liverpool, I would see like these stickers around town that said boycott the Sun. And so a friend of mine, you know, we went out to drinks and I was like, what is with this? And he said, and so he told me this story and I'm going to share with you. The Reading Rainbow. So, okay. So basically what happened is that, in 1989, basically 4 days after the Hillsborough disaster, the worst sporting disaster in British history, in which 96 people were killed and countless others were left injured and traumatized, the Sun ran a front page claiming, among other accusations, that Liverpool fans had, quote, picked pockets of victims, urinated on brave cops, as if that's a thing.
Because, you know, cops really stand around if you're pissing on them. They really just stand and go, oh, please don't do that.
And beat up PCs who were giving mouth resuscitation. The allegations, citing comments made by South Yorkshire Police and a Tory MP, were provided by a Sheffield news agency. The allegations were all lies. So the people of Liverpool boycotted the paper. Now, what's interesting here is that the Sun never retracted that fucking story. And later on...
Thank you, progressive lefty. Progressive lefty. Progressive lefty.
Okay. Later on, the Sun's editor called the manager of Liverpool's team to say how they could correct the situation, as if you don't fucking know. And the manager of Liverpool's team basically said, quote, you know that big headline, The Truth? All you have to do is put, we lied. And then the editor of the Sun says, I can't do that.
Nope.
Literally just can't even fucking admit that they lied about something so horrific that people were pickpocketing the dead. Like, this is some like Braveheart medieval battlefield scene. Like, holy fuck. So this is the journalistic integrity of this paper. And not surprisingly owned by the, chief of journalistic integrity, Rupert Murdoch.
Mr. Fox News. And they really do own Britain. Like, they may be a horrible paper, but they kind of run Britain because they decide, not just the Sun, but as Hugh Grant said, who knows Britain better than I do, it's run and owned by basically 4 media oligarchs, Rupert Murdoch being one of them. And they decide who's allowed to be prime minister and what's allowed to be done.
Thank you, progressive lefty.
And I still gotta chant this one. Chuck, 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 Chuck. How was that?
Sure.
Hugh.
Hey, he's quoting you.
Yes,
Hello?
it is. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you for the quote. Parade propaganda, festival of ignorance. That's what I said on Fox News, which got me kicked out of the building.
Thanks, Bev.
Bev.
Oh my God, are we really gonna do this?
Look, I offered. What choice do I have now?
Thanks, progressive. How are you gonna chant that one?
I already did it. You were talking.
Killing me. Oh, sweet. Thanks, American Hostage. Appreciate that.
I don't know how to chant that.
Folks.
American Hostage. Ugh.
Oh God, please. Not in my home.
Oh man, could you guys have easier names? DS. That I can do the first two.
Can
initials.
someone with like 4
Just Chuck.
numbers,
I like Chuck. Chuck was easy. Chuck.
Can someone with like 4 numbers and some symbols in their name please donate something?
See, you're mocking my offer to chant, but it's getting people to donate. They like the chants.
Yeah. So this is, and I saw somebody's comment that they wouldn't fire him for murdering his wife, but if he commented on what's going on,
No, they did fire. Oh, sorry, you're right.
Can I just?
I thought I was fucked up.
No, you're fucked up.
I know.
Okay. That they wouldn't fire him for murdering his wife, but if he mentioned, what's going on in Palestine, then he would have been fucking like booted out. And that's absolutely true. Actual journalistic integrity gets you, a pink slip. But hey, murdering your wife is just totes cool.
That's fine. Just don't talk about Israel.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa. All right, you chant the next one.
No, I don't want
You're gonna
to.
make
I never
faces.
said. Thank you, Judith.
Judith. I made a promise. What do you want me to do? I'm handcuffed here.
Could I get you to promise not to chant?
It's too late. I got 8 minutes left of this shit.
Thank you, Dennis. I hope you like it.
Thank you. Dennis just bought the new album.
Yeah. So,
thank you, Juan. That's more like it. Oh, wait. Wrong one.
You're all over the place.
Hold on. We'll talk more about Palestine 1 second. Sorry. Thank you, Juan, for chanting my name. Oh, $50.
Thank you, River Run. Woo!
River Run. Okay, so she has to talk more about Palestine. And someone else said Sheikh Jarrah, which I don't know that. Caster. I don't know that much about it, but I did retweet a video. Actually, maybe we could, if you don't mind waiting a second, I can look it up. But of the attack going on there on the community of Sheikh Jarrah, which is a place that basically, these Israeli settlements where they go in and they just kick Palestinians out and then basically put settlements in there so that they can own the land, so that Israel can take over the land. So this is being done right now. And this clip has gone viral despite the fact that Twitter has tried to cover this up. Yeah, silence it. I didn't share the fucking...
What?
You got to share the volume too. It's a thing.
Oh, there's so much... share audio. I see.
Now you know everything there is to
know.
know.
The more you know.
About StreamYard. So you get the point that this is police attacking Palestinians in order to clear a settlement. So.
Yeah, and there's some horrific images out there and some really important reporting that's been going on, even though, as Diana points out, social media has really been clamping down on it, in the interest of U.S. hegemony and Israeli colonialism. So, wow, Robert, you put that so well. This is something that we talk a lot about in the Jewish community, and it's I'm at a loss. I don't fucking know. Because if you actually look at and this could be like a broader question and conversation about like, you know, teachings that are unfortunately housed in a religious space, because that's, you know, religious teachings tend to be a little bit hypocritical historically. But a lot of Jewish teachings, you know, in a cultural sense, talk about the role of Jews in fighting oppression, how important it is. You know, Passover is all about recognizing that, you know, we were slaves in Egypt, ergo our job is to ensure that there is no slavery and that the stranger is taken care of, that everyone has a home, you know, like basic human rights shit. And yet, you know, Israel, who, as, you know, Netanyahu points out, is the Jewish state, completely is the antithesis of that. And, you know, so that it's a great question, and one that I'm really not fucking clear on. Like, as a Jew, as a human, I don't understand. But I think, you know, it's super important that we continue to share these stories, and that we continue to fight for the human rights of the Palestinians that are literally under the boot of the Israeli apartheid state. Yeah, it's horrific.
Listen, Jen, we are the chosen ones, all right? I don't care. Yeah, they shouldn't have taken over that neighborhood, but that doesn't change the fact we're the fucking chosen ones. I mean, everyone knows we're the chosen ones. Okay. Also, don't the Christians basically think they're the chosen ones because they say like the Jews will burn in hell on the end times?
That's some of them, yeah.
So
they blame the Jews for.
We're just all
Jesus.
fighting over who the chosen ones are. Is that what's going on here?
Also, who wants to be the chosen ones? I've always thought that heaven sounds so fucking dull. It's like a bunch of harp music. It's you know, it's drafty. All the boring people are there.
I know all the people who fucking behave themselves their whole life. Like,
meanwhile, all the scientists are in hell, so you know they've created air conditioning. So I'm going down there. It's going to be great. All the partying,
scientists are in hell.
The sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Fuck. I mean, yeah, I'm there. I'd much rather be there. Yeah, I don't want to be the chosen one.
Dylan.
It's not showing up on mine.
It's coming.
Okay.
Well, not yet.
Dylan, thank you. Yes, seriously. Redneck is actually a term that speaks to radical, like leftist organizing. I talk about this a little bit. In my, okay. You said 10 minutes. It's been like 40.
It's been 9.
I talk about this in my film, by the way, Hard Road of Hope, where the term redneck comes from. And it actually comes from the organizing during the mine wars, where mine workers came together and you know, built solidarity and went on strike and tied red bandanas around their neck, marched, and actually fired at coal barons in order to win some basic labor and human rights. So redneck is a fucking, you know, radical organizing term. So that's been totally, you know, propagandized and appropriated by the far right. But there are definitely people that are working to bring it back, not least of all the folks in West Virginia, like at the Mine Wars Museum, where they sell red bandanas and you can get your picture taken saying I'm a proud redneck. So yeah, next time somebody says redneck in a derogatory way, you let them know.
Jim.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Lee's latest Redacted, holy shit. Check it out because
thank you.
It's an awesome commentary on the abolition of prisons. It's kind of like a follow-up to the previous one. So
yes,
yeah.
I did a 2-part series, 2 redacteds in a row on our prison industrial complex, which was one of the largest crimes in the world. And you know, we have more prisoners than anyone else. We have more per capita than anyone else. It's a racist system. There's so many problems with it. But anyway, check out Redacted tonight for part 2 of that series. This part is definitely different than the first part. The first part was facts about prisons you don't know. This part is about how we could end the prison industrial complex. So check it out.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody who's donated. This is awesome. Wandering Left, Osama number 5. Thank you guys for donating. All these donations will go to people who are struggling.
And this is something Lee was just going to mention anyway.
Yes, we're gonna bring this one up as
so
well.
Thanks, Diana, for the telepathy.
By the way, we're at that point where if we get, let's say, $100 in the next 10 minutes, then we will stay an extra 10 minutes. We'll stay until 9 o'clock. So please donate if you got a couple of bucks. It all goes to people in need. It doesn't go to us. So yeah, do that. But let's see here. So the Donziger trial, well, I suppose I should explain who he is before I show the tweet. But Stephen Donziger, I've covered him some. I had him on Redacted at VIP. So for those who already saw it, I'll give a quick rundown so you don't have to hear it all again. But the lawyer, he represented the largest ever successful lawsuit against an oil company. It was against Chevron, which owns Texaco. And the two of them destroyed the Amazon in Ecuador, just leaving pits of massive fucking toxic oil everywhere, destroying lives of the indigenous there. The indigenous have just been crushed by cancer from those pits. The workers there, as Donziger said in my interview, told the indigenous that the pits of oil and crude and whatever the garbage it was, they weren't harmful. They told the indigenous they were fine. They told the indigenous that if they saw chunks of it in their water, they could drink it because it was like vitamins. Totally repulsive shit. And so he wins this $9 billion, billion with a B, settlement against Chevron. And then Chevron announces it will be like a cold day in hell before we'll ever pay any of that. They ultimately leave Ecuador completely to try and avoid paying, but they're still Chevron is still being chased. So now what they've done is they've got a corrupt judge in New York. They've got corrupt prosecutors, all attached to Chevron, all who have done work for Chevron. And they are going after the lawyer who won the case, basically to set an example, like they did with Assange. Assange was a publisher that they wanted to set an example of. Donziger is a lawyer that they want to set an example of. He's been under house arrest for over a year and a half, I think, coming up on 2 years. In New York City, meaning he can't leave his apartment. And his trial starts tomorrow. So here is, I think this is Susan Sarandon tweeting about it. So Susan Sarandon said, tomorrow's a big day for Stephen Donziger and all environmental activists. I'll be there at 500 Pearl Street. That's where the court is in New York at 8:30 a.m. with Marianne Williamson. You know her as the person who ran for president in the Democratic ticket, but she was very unlike most of the other Democrats. Roger Waters, the famous musician, and others to oppose Chevron and the court's attempt to criminalize activism. Show up if you can. Now, so if you're in New York, you should definitely try and show up to this if you have the time. The judge has already stopped. She already ruled that it could not be Zoom. It could not be done over Zoom so that everyone could watch it, which has become the norm for most of these cases during the pandemic. They've all been shown basically to the world.
Thank you, Dennis.
we just got Dennis's entire iTunes payment to give to those who are
he
struggling.
said it was 27, so he still has $2.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Yes, Nick is a great vegan chef. But yeah, so that starts tomorrow. So if you're in New York, try and go to that. Unfortunately, we can't view it online because the judge basically doesn't want to show her corruption to the world. It truly is incredible, but you should follow Stephen Donziger's Twitter and keep up with it that way as well. By the way, we're also going to, if you guys have questions, if you have topics you want us to hit on, throw them in the comment section and we will try and touch on them.
Yeah.
600 there. So there's the number, 650 days of house arrest. Thank you, Magic Goosky.
Magic
Magic as fuck. No.
No, Magic Sufi.
Oh, okay. I kind of like magic as fuck.
Yeah. So, and you interviewed him, right?
Yeah, I had Donziger on the Moment of Clarity on my live stream.
Yeah. So you can go back and watch that interview as well. It's an amazing story, and it's just like it's one of those very overt examples of what George Carlin said. The U.S. is an oil company with an army.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep. So, what else was there? What else were we talking
The
about?
Biden story.
Oh yeah. Okay. So Build Back Better. That whole tagline.
Oh, while you look that up, do you want me to read some thank yous?
Oh yeah.
So guys, I don't know. Well, let's see. We got 25. I'm trying to see how close we are to the 100 to stay on an extra 10 minutes. But I wanted to read you some of the thank yous.
Tim.
Thanks, Tim. There's no 10. I want to read you some of the thank you. These are just this is just 3 of them sampling from the thank yous that of the people you're donating to. And like I always say, this is not, if you're struggling, email commoncensored@protonmail.com. It's not millions of dollars. It's we're averaging around $85 to each person who emails and is struggling. So yeah, it's not going to replace your limb that you lost. That surgery is probably still going to have to be on hold. But here are just 3 samples of the thank yous. I won't give last names to cover, to give them privacy. But Robert says, thank you, guys, for the $65. So Robert actually asked for specifically $65. He said he was struggling. He needed exactly $65. Thank you for the $65. You guys are my new heroes. So thank you guys for helping out, Robert. This is from CS. I appreciate this so much. I appreciate so much what you've done for me. You helped me get to my goal, and I have court tomorrow. So she needed money, I think, for like court fines and things, which, it's such a fucked up system. And I've talked about it a lot, but this system grabs people into it. And then especially if they're poor, it just keeps cycling where they can't pay the fines. And then the interest grows, and then they can't pay that. And then it just keeps fucking dragging them deeper and deeper. So that was from CS. And then one more. This is from Michael. Thank you, DB and Monica. This is from Michael. Thank you so much. I start this new job Friday, and I go out on the road to deliver food Monday. So you're carrying me through. Thank you all very much. This is honestly stuff people don't do. He means he's never heard of people just raising donations to give to others. So what he's talking about is he's starting a new job. He's starting a new job. Thank you, Michael. He's starting a new job, but the job hadn't started yet. And he, basically was on 0 or negative funds just to get through the 3 days until the job started. So people are really struggling out there. So thank you guys so much. Those thank yous are honestly all for you. We're just middlemen or middle people that don't take a cut. So
middle people. Yes. So I also saw some comments in the thread talking about how it's V-Day in Europe. Yes. And I think that's a very important thing to bring up. So thank you. For folks who are not aware, V-Day is a celebration and a commemoration and kind of like a day of reflection regarding the Allied victory in the end of World War II, which somehow, interestingly enough, has turned into the U.S. beat the Nazis and nothing about the USSR. Nothing.
Nope.
So
they only lost something like 20 some million people.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. They only lost 20 some million people. So, I think they didn't really devote themselves to the cause. We lost 500,000. Okay. And they only lost 20 whatever million.
I think it's 28 million.
Yeah. It's 27 million. So I just don't think they were really in it, to win it. Like we were, okay.
But this, again, the deep propagandization. When you ask, if you were to go outside right now and ask 100 people, who won the war, who basically what was the deciding factor in the war in World War II, I think most people would say it was the U.S.
I thought there was those posters that said, don't go home with the loose gals, you'll get syphilis. I thought that's what did it.
There were actually those posters.
Or loose lips sink ships.
Yeah. There's so basically there's so much propaganda that has tried to erase the role, and this is like not even 100 years ago, y'all. Like, that's how fucking goldfish it gets, and how insane this propaganda push has been to erase the role of Russia in World War II, when we would all be speaking fucking German if it weren't for Russia in World War II, and the incredible like loss of life and the incredible trials that were endured by Russian people in their home territories is fucking mind-boggling. And and I think it's very important to recognize that and to really reflect on the on that aspect of World War II.
And actually
another comment in here that I wanted to.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. Oh yeah, and not to mention that we dropped the atomic bomb twice when we didn't even need to fucking do it once. So yeah,
nope, the atomic bomb was not needed. Japan was ready to surrender. We basically just wanted to test them out, and we wanted to show Russia how murderous they could be.
And yes, of course, it was a team effort. I'm not saying that like U.S. lives lost didn't matter. My grandfather fought in World War II. I'm not trying to diminish that. But the point of me sharing this is basically that the U.S. takes center stage, and that is hugely historically inaccurate, and it erases the Russian lives that were lost, which were many more, and the battles were waged far longer and far more vigorously and violently in their own homes. Whereas, here in the U.S., that was not the case. So I'm not saying that like, fuck all the Americans who partook in that war. No. Both things can be true at the same time, right? But my point in sharing that was that we really have to work hard to destabilize that propaganda, because there's no shortage of people commemorating the Americans who fought in World War II. There's a huge gap in commemorating the Russian side of that fight,
of the story. And today is also Mother's Day, which I believe started as an anti-war day. It was a group of mothers trying to end war, and now it's that's been forgotten, and it's just buy flowers.
Buy flowers, and also buy, like, the amount of fucking like Mother's Day shit that I got in my inbox from like things that have nothing to do with mothers, like I don't know, like audio gear. I mean, fine, yeah, if your mom is an engineer and shit, but it's like, it's just become an example it's just like another excuse to buy a bunch of shit. And really, if you want to do right by mothers, I don't know, like, fight to stop the bombing of children who are the children of mothers. So yeah, there's a Mother's Day
rumor
concept.
has it that even the kids we bomb have mothers.
Have mothers,
apparently.
Yeah. Speaking of bombing and white supremacy, let's talk about Joe Biden.
Okay.
So this is Build Back Better, as the Biden slogan is. And I like to just say, instead of Build Back Better, how about Build Back Better white supremacy, Yeah. It's not as the alliteration isn't quite there.
Has white supremacy been struggling?
No, but this is better white supremacy. It's the kind that you can wrap in a pride flag, in a Black Lives Matter shirt, and it's still white supremacy, but you get to look like you give a shit about people at the same time.
Okay.
So the latest from Biden is that he has filled the immigration court with Trump hires. So they basically, what happened, this is reporting from The Hill, the Biden team hired a slate of immigration judges initially selected during Trump's presidency. So the first 17 hires to this court are responsible for determining whether migrants get to remain in the country. And they're filled with former prosecutors and counselors for ICE, as well as a few picks that have little to no immigration experience.
So
almost none. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Almost none of them have made their career representing migrants in court. So basically, none of them have ever been on the other side trying to make the case for why a refugee, because very often these are refugees from our fucking economic wars or our actual wars. Almost none of them have ever been in that place of actually representing any of these people. So what were you going to say? Sorry.
So basically Biden, the Biden and the Democrats want to continue to deport people at nearly the rate that Trump did. Obviously, Obama deported more. Trump would have beat that record if he'd had another 4 years. But Obama, deported more than any other president. And so that is the quiet policy of the Democratic Party, is to keep deporting tens of thousands all the time. I mean, it was 26,000 in the first couple weeks. I think someone said it's over 100 now thousand that Biden has deported, and it and so he and his administration. Let's be serious. Biden's not making these decisions because he's fucking out to lunch. But the people around him, so Biden administration, are putting these judges, Trump judges, into the place that they will continue the procedure of basically giving everyone 12 seconds to make their case. Why should we keep you in the country? All right, next. Why should we keep you in the country? Next. And not giving a fuck and deporting everyone. So they want the Trump judges in there. They want you to believe that they care about immigrants, but they don't give a shit about immigrants.
Well, and it's, kind of to the same point. It's like when, I can't remember the numbers because I'm not really a numbers person, but so when Trump was in office, he lowered the corporate tax rate to a laughable amount.
21.
And then
21%.
Biden came in and all this fanfare was like, I'm raising the corporate tax rate. And then he raised it
to 28.
But when Trump came into office, it was what, 30?
32 or something.
And so it's but you didn't even fucking raise it to where it was
to where it was
when it was still shitty.
Obama, yep.
And yet you want us to fucking applaud you asshole. But this is what the Democrats do. Yes, Trish, it's all performance. It's a way to wrap white supremacy, imperialism, violence, and
thank you, Orange Soul.
To wrap it in nice wrapping paper and make it look like it's human rights or holy shit. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Orange Soul. Oh, Malaga. Sweet. It's beautiful where you are. Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, this is classic Democrat, right? To basically do the same thing the Republicans do, but have a better PR team around them so they make it look like they give a shit. And so this is really not that surprising, but it once again, it goes to show you that Biden is, the Democrats are the blue MAGA hat. They are the blue dumpster fire to the Republicans' red dumpster fire. Nothing will fundamentally change. As Biden said, I believe him because he was talking to his people.
Right.
Right? We are not his people. He doesn't give a flying fuck about us. But it's just, and so it's not that it's surprising. It's not that it's shocking. It's just important to uplift this and point out hey, this is what the Democrats do. Okay. And this is why I saw somebody comment that, voting for the Democrats is really not going to get us anywhere. Yeah, agreed. So, and this is what you vote for when you vote for the lesser of two evils. There's no such thing as the lesser of two evils. They're equally fucking evil. And actually, I would argue, on the topic of, whether that be immigrant rights or climate change, I actually prefer the Republican brand. I'm not saying I vote for them, but I prefer the honesty of the Republicans because at least they admit that they hate everyone and they don't believe in science. The Democrats say that they believe in human rights and science, and yet they do the same fucking thing as the Republicans. And it's well, but you're doing the same shit, but you're not even being honest about it. I'd rather have the people that are at least like, no, I hope you all fucking die, and I'm gonna go to the bank. And it's like, well, at least I know that that's where you are. The Democrats try to hide that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's why they need to run around holding up AOC, and the others is like, oh, that's what the Democratic Party is. It's these left wingers. Look at what they're saying, but they're not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, y'all, we have 10 minutes left. Please keep donating if you can. Every little bit helps. Every little bit goes back to the folks in this community who email us and request help.
Solidarity Fund.
Yes. So, yeah. And you can donate here via the super chat, the snap snoopers chat.
Snoopers. Yeah.
The snooper chat.
Yeah, snoopers.
The snoopers
Yeah.
chat. I do the social medias. You can donate there, or you can also donate via Rockfin, and you can donate via Venmo if you're watching this after the fact at Lee Camp on Venmo. And all of that goes to y'all.
Goes to people who are struggling. Thank you so much for the donations. You guys have been amazing. Thank you, Kenneth. Just donated.
Where it's not showing up. Oh, thank you, Kenneth.
What's the frequency, Kenneth?
What?
I bet you he got tired of that back in the 90s.
I don't get it.
It's an REM song.
Oh,
I
I don't like REM.
used to like REM back in the day. Thank you, Magic Spider.
Chris, if you know where I can sign up to be the test groups for, the new apps, let me know.
New snipper.
I have some great ideas here. I'm just saying.
No,
yeah.
but seriously, like me on Wiggly Pops, all right? Because I've been trying to build up my page there, and it's like I just can't seem to get any traction.
Yeah, Steven, the fucking woke CIA, that is just some grade A bullshit.
Oh, yeah, I played one of those videos. I think I might play another one on Redacted.
It's like the capos in the concentration camps. Like, literally, she represents the countries that are being destroyed by the CIA, and it's like, oh.
Well, that's one of them. There's another one that fewer people, it hadn't gone as viral, but it's a guy talking about how he's gay and how happy he is to be at the CIA and how he runs the games room and he teaches CIA agents with board games. And
What?
And he was like, I was worried that it'd be, bad that I was gay here, but then I saw a rainbow flag on the director's lapel and I knew that I was in the right place. And it's like so ridiculous. I was like, this has to be fake. But Alan McLeod, who does great work, he said it came straight from the CIA's YouTube channel.
Yeah, well, this is...
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. What do you mean Epstein didn't kill himself? He just happened to be in that prison cell with a paper shirt and he happened to scream right before he killed himself and the guards went to sleep and the cameras turned off. That's what happens every time someone kills themselves. It's a weird, it's a metaphysical kind of like a metaphysical thing where when someone dies, all of the electricity shorts out for like a 5-mile radius. It's like a weird, most people don't know about it, but it's a weird.
And then somehow his neck was broken the way that it would be if somebody strangled him. It was just,
It's bones that...
What a coincidence.
He had broken bones that don't generally break during hanging. They break in 20% of hangings, but they break in hangings where you're dropped from a height, like the old West, where they'd open a trap door and the guy would go 30 feet and his head would pop off. That's when they would break. Most hangings, the way you would hang yourself in a prison, sadly, sorry if this is gruesome, but is you lean against a bedpost with a thing around your neck. So you're not dropped rah. It's like a light leaning. So that doesn't break those neck bones. But he happened to have those neck bones broken. What are the odds? Anyway.
It's crazy times. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tal Shiar?
I'm going to let you take that one.
I just did.
Okay.
This person says it's okay to be gay, but not CI gay.
Ha! Well played. Yeah, there's and Pride is coming up. Love to all my fellow queer folks in the world. And this is another really good time to point out that corporate power and imperialism have no fucking place in queer spaces and in the fight for LGBTQ rights. So, yeah, just gonna throw that out there. I'll probably be talking more about that when Pride Month comes around, just to get everybody in the mood, Yeah, so we got 5 minutes left. Come on, folks. Let's get a little bit more in the coffers for folks.
Yeah, please. A couple more donations would be awesome in these last 5 minutes. I was going to do the the big tangent. Oh wait.
Thanks, Nick. Oh my God.
We'll do this first.
Pair character wondering what they missed while putting away the grocery delivery that, of course, arrived in the middle of the show, but is happy anyway because see next comment. Okay, well, real quick. I mean, I feel like
Nick, you don't have to.
Can you choose a delivery time? Come on, man.
And Nick, you leave the groceries to rot while our show goes on. That's how that works. Jesus.
Ew, rosemary fries. That sounds amazing.
You gotta read the rest of the pair character.
No, I did.
Yeah,
He said,
you didn't read this
see
one.
next comment.
Keep
I got
going.
stuck on the rosemary fries. It sounds delicious. Nick, I still believe that you said you would cook for me at some point. So you teasing me with this kind of talk is, I feel, kind of mean.
Thank you, Dylan. Solidarity,
Same.
not charity. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Dylan.
Here's a
Karen.
Doge animal guy. Says, good job.
What?
Yeah, Dogecoin.
Thank you, Robert. I don't know what that means.
Robert Templeton.
Thank you all.
You notice Eleanor is not a crypto aficionado.
Okay, I have some Bitcoin. I mean, I don't have like a Bitcoin. I've got like 0.0 of a Bitcoin.
Thank you guys for the donations. All of these will really help people out. We appreciate it. One other, by the way, for those of you wondering about the album that we talked about earlier, that's at Art Killing Apathy. Thank you, Todd, second time around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
OG Goblin.
OG Goblin.
I like that. Oh, right after Great Goblin posted a comment.
Oh, the two goblins are in the house together.
Are you guys like, are you like part of a collective? I like it. I dig it.
Are you guys a couple?
Well, no, one of them's, it could be. One of them's OG and one of them's great. I like it.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the album's at artkillingapathy.com if you want to grab Eleanor's album. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
On the 2024 election.
Warren can just take a long walk off a short fucking pier.
I mean, they all can, but
I know, but Aaron brought up specifically Warren, so I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Warren is garbage. I mean, they're all garbage, but here's the thing: is I don't understand how Biden could pretend to be with it. Right now, he's doing a show of someone who can understand what you're saying. That's what it is. It's like an act of. I remember this from when my grandpa was fading, and probably those of you out there who have 90-year-old grandpas, you probably remember this stage before death, unfortunately, where their eyes are kind of wider and they look a little bit baffled as to what's going on, but they can still talk with you and they can pretend, but you can tell they're trying really hard to make it not look like they're like, what is happening? And so that is the stage Biden's in right now. I don't understand how he could possibly run in 3 years, 3.5 years, and like keep that up. It just.
Well, no, I think Harris will probably step in.
Biden's claiming he's running again. Here's the thing, though. You got to decide that in like the next 6 months they're going to start running again.
I know. Oh my gosh, Rusty, I'm
Thank you,
totally
Jorge.
using that. Demon rats, that's wonderful. I'm using that. Thank you, Jorge.
Jorge is asking how long the book takes to get there. It varies. Because it's not sent by me, it's sent by PM Press, but it's usually pretty quick. So, should be, I think, less than a week. If you have trouble, though, hit up PM Press or you can email me at the Common Censored account. That's fine. But for those who want my book, it's at leecampbook.com.
Get it. It's amazing. Yes. So, but I think the general feeling is we can't talk about 2024.
I mean,
yet.
it's just, dude, it's so.
I need to process.
It's like the moment you get through 3 years of election garbage, and then like a month later, they're like, let's talk about the next one. Let's not.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, we're gonna leave that. Silence is violence. No, we are not running for office. There's far too much in my past that they could dig up that I don't want them to. That would also be used against me, and also just fuck trying to change shit from the inside. There was a great meme on May 4th, for fellow Star Wars fans out there. May the 4th be with you. And it was a great picture of like all the rebels standing around, their little, like whatever situation room. And it said, so it's all agreed. We're going to try and change the Empire from the inside. And it's like, yes, thank you. Fuck you. No, that's obviously that would not have worked. And that would have, yeah. Thank you so much, American of Color. Really appreciate that. That's a
beauty rock voyage.
It's a beautiful way of putting it.
I
Thank
like
you.
that. That's cool.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. But if you are watching this later, or if, it strikes you that you want to donate at some other time, you can still donate on Venmo. At Lee Camp is the name, and all of those donations go to those who are struggling. And if you are struggling, you can email commoncensored@protonmail.com. If you enjoyed this, we also have a podcast called Common Censored. Actually, we will give you all the podcasts because there are many of them. There's my other one with Graham Elwood called Government Secrets. You should check that out. We got Graham demonetized, so we're proud of that. Eleanor has her solo one called Act Out, although there's no solo. There's one she does with Carla Bergman that's epic. That's it's talking to activists and about radicals about their journey, and that is called Silver Threads. And then there's my other one called Moment of Clarity that has all the audio from Redacted Tonight and the audio from Moment of Clarity live streams. So you can kind of get all my stuff on podcast if you wanted to. That's called Moment of Clarity.
Yes. So plenty of shit to listen to. Excuse me. Plenty of stuff to listen to. And don't forget to check out Lee's Redacted Tonight. It's fucking awesome. And we will not see you again, but we will be with you again during this week's Common Censored, and then we'll see you again next week. And yeah, as always, thanks for hanging out with us. To everyone who was able to donate, really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you for that. Your donations are going to help this Common Censored community. So
thank you guys. Keep fighting.
Act out.